Let me ask you honestly, when you open your mutual fund account, what do you see? Green numbers, that is 12%, 14%, and sometimes 18%. It looks like progress, right? But now let me ask you the real question. Why does your bank balance still feel tight? Why do big expenses still feel stressful? Why does wealth still feel distant? You are investing, you're disciplined, you are doing the right thing. So why doesn't your life reflect those returns? Today's video is not about markets. It's also not about which fund you should buy. It's about a silent gap, the gap between returns on your paper and real money growth in your life. And once you see this gap clearly, you will never look at mutual fund returns the same way again. Please do like the video and subscribe to our channel for weekly knowledgeable videos on finance. Namaste friends, I'm Rohini and you're watching the knowledge series of fincash.com. Most investors confuse return with progress. A mutual fund return will tell you how well did this fund perform. It does not tell you if your financial life is actually improving. Your fund can deliver a 15% CAGR, but if your expenses and lifestyle are growing faster than that, then you're not getting richer. You're just running in place. This is why most Indians often say that I have been investing for years, but I do not feel wealthy. Because wealth is not in a percentage. Wealth is what your money allows you to do without feeling a pinch of stress. Now let's talk about a factor that quietly affects your money every year. That is inflation. Not the consumer price index, the CPI you hear on TV, not the 4 to 5% headline inflation. We are talking about real life inflation. For an average urban Indian, what actually gets expensive every year? That is rent, school fees, healthcare, insurance, travel, lifestyle upgrade, family responsibilities. For most middle class households, real inflation is closer to 8 to 10%. So let's do a simple math. If your mutual fund earns 12% and your real life cost rises at 9%, your actual growth is just 3%. That's not wealth creation, that's just staying afloat. That is why returns look good on apps, but pressure in real life doesn't reduce. What we are going to talk about in this segment is one of the biggest silent killers of wealth. Most people start systematic investment plan, that is SIP, with excitement. 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month. Many people do even 15,000 SIP and then they freeze it. Year passes, income grows, lifestyle upgrades, but the systematic investment plan stays the same. Let's be honest, whenever someone gets a salary hike, they usually fund for a better house, a better car, more subscription, more EMIs, more comfort, but not higher SIPs. So yes, return looks great, but the invested amount is too small to change your financial reality. Good returns on small money still gives you small results, but real compounding needs growth and contribution. So what do you have to do? Rule number 1, link your SIPs to income. Increase them when your income changes. As a thumb rule, try to direct at least 30% of every salary hike into SIPs. And if you get any bonus or variable income, invest at least 50% first. The second rule is, most people do not increase their SIPs because they feel the pinch. Automate it so you can never see that extra money. If the money never reaches your bank balance, you don't miss it. So automate your systematic investment plan, which means it will directly auto debit from your account and directly go into SIP. Rule number 3 is think about outcomes, not the monthly amount. 10,000 SIP a month sounds decent, but what does it actually do? So here you need to flip your thinking. Instead of asking how much should I invest, ask what future problems should this SIP solve. Example is 1 SIP for retirement, 1 SIP for child's education, 1 SIP is for your financial independence. So when SIPs are goal linked, increasing them feels necessary and not optional. Most investors obsess over one question, that is, what is my CAGR? But wealthy people ask questions in a different manner. They ask, can my investments handle emergencies? Can my portfolio support my lifestyle? Can I take a career break without panic? Can I survive a bad market year? This is because returns do not pay your bills, but cash flow do. If your portfolio looks impressive but still cannot absorb a medical expense or a job disruption, then returns are just decoration. Money grows in real life only when it starts changing decision, not just dashboards. This is the most uncomfortable truth. Many investors earn good returns, but they quietly undo them. How? By stopping SIPs during market fall, withdrawing during fear, switching funds constantly, using long-term investments for lifestyle upgrade, reacting emotionally to short-term volatility. But real compounding needs time, discipline, and a pinch of boredom. But most people interrupt their investments exactly when it starts working. Do remember that market rewards patience, but humans struggle with patience. And this behavior quietly kills what math tries to build. The simple solution is decide your systematic investment plan and asset allocation when you're calm, and promise yourself that you will not change it even when emotions are loud. Everything we discussed so far assumes one thing, that you will stay disciplined forever. But real life doesn't work like that. Real wealth is built when system works, even on bad days, even on boring months, and even during emotional years. So here are three structural shifts. A system that actually protects your money even when you do not. Shift 1. Separate growth money from life money. This is where most people fail silently. They mix their salary money, emergency money, investment money, and lifestyle money, all in one account, all in one app, all in one mental bucket. That guarantees confusion. The upgrade that you have to make is create two clear money zones. One is your life money, wherein your salary, bills, daily spending, short-term needs are segregated. Other is growth money, that is your SIP, long-term investment, retirement investment, future goals. This means that when money has a job, it behaves better. Shift number 2, add friction to spending, but remove friction from investing. Right now, spending is easy, but investing needs effort. You have to flip this friction. Make SIP fully automatic. Remove the option to pause your SIP casually. Keep investment out of your daily view. At the same time, add friction to spending. Delay big purchases by 24 to 48 hours. Force conscious decisions. See, money grows where friction is low, but it leaks where friction is zero. Shift number 3. Anchor your money to time, not markets. Wealthy investors anchor time. That is age, life phase, years left to work, years money must last. When money is anchored to time, volatility becomes noise. So instead of asking, is the market risky right now? Ask, do I need this money in next 5 years? If not, short-term fear doesn't matter. Time, not timing, creates calm. These are the 3 shifts that you have to make. And these 3 shifts are different because they are not depend on discipline or motivation or market confidence. But these 3 shifts are depend on a structure, and structure beats behavior every single time. Mutual funds are powerful tools, but tools do not build wealth, but system do. So tonight, do not check your returns. Check one thing instead. Is my investment system growing, or they are just running? That answer will decide whether your money works for you or not, or you just keep working for money. It is your money, invest it smartly.